Hello, welcome to another edition of North Coast History and Haunts. Today's episode takes us just outside of Vermillion, Ohio, to a place known as Gore Orphanage. If you really know the truth of the matter though, there was never an orphanage here. As a matter of fact, there was something known as Swift Mansion, and that was behind me. This is the foundation of Swift Mansion, and this is what really started the rumor about Gore Orphanage. Let's take a look. We're going to look at some of the pictures of the old days and where the mansion was and where it was situated. Come on, let's take a look. This is the mansion that would become to be known as Rosedale or Swift's Mansion. It was built in Vermillion, Ohio, roughly around 1841. It was started by Joseph Swift. He had come here from Massachusetts. He had cleared over 20 acres of land by hand and started construction of his beloved mansion called Rosedale. And these are a couple of side shots. And what's really interesting for a building as old as that is, there's a lot of pictures that still exist today. It was known as an architectural marvel. The blueprints today, I believe, are in the Smithsonian. It's considered that significant. And it was known to attract people really from all over the country who would come and take a look at this land. It was built by Joseph Swift, and unfortunately, it would change hands thereafter. It passed hands into the Wilbur family, who experienced some loss while they were living in the building, as well as the Sprungers. The Sprungers would start the orphanage known as Gore Orphanage or what we know today. So here's another picture of the building as it would be facing north, and it had a large porch and they did a lot of entertaining there. There's a picture today that shows a crowd of people. However, it's thought it wasn't the Swift family. It was just a bunch of people that had come to enjoy the day. Here's an example of the architectural drawings, the blueprints, and it was very ornate and very classical at the time. And people would come from all over the country to take a look at the Swift Mansion. It was built in what they called Little Egypt because the nearby river would flood frequently, but it would also make for obviously very fertile crops. This is the mansion site today. You can go there, but there's little exists. It's nothing more than a hole in the ground lined with sandstone rocks. It's up on a rise, so we're looking south here as the building is facing north. There you can see some of the architecture and the details of the mansion itself. It was really, really, really nice. The last family who would have it were the Sprungers, and they lost their mansion after Old Man Sprunger died. And they said this was used for servants' quarters and for storage, but it seems odd that the servants would get to live in the mansion while the children got to live in the farmhouse up the hill. Either way, after the Sprungers had left, it sat abandoned. And people would come to the site to still, and it was known as a haunted house even back then, over 100 years ago. And it's just kind of cool that the legend has survived this long to today. You can go there and you can check out the mansion today. It is part of the Lorain County Metropark's property, so you have to obey all park rules, including not being there after dark. Okay, so we're taking a look here now. You're kind of looking right into the woods. I'm standing in the field somewhat off to the distance. We're going to spin around and look at where the mansion site once was. You can see that's the foundation. It's filled with water. It's the spring now. So we're going to superimpose another picture on top of that. And here's the picture that shows some of the trees, and it doesn't include any of the rose bushes or any of the surrounding outbuildings either. But it's just kind of a neat throwback that we go back in time to see where the mansion once stood. There's also a barn that existed off to the right, and I can't find any pictures of that barn, but it's really cool and unique that still a lot of pictures exist of the Swift Mansion as it once stood. It's in Vermilion, Ohio, and I will put in the link in the description of how you can get there. It's a neat visit and certainly worth the trip. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. But before we go, we're going to take a look at one last picture. And this picture is kind of neat and kind of poignant in the sense that this was thought to be the last picture ever taken of Gore Orphanage, and this was very shortly before it burned. And you can see some of the deterioration on the woodwork, and it's just kind of a sad end to a very classy and elegant building. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Bye.